What's a crazy story you've been wanting to tell but there's never been a thread specific enough for it?
Not really the craziest, but this my absolute favorite story in the world, and it's 100% true. I've got 3 cousins who are birth siblings and were adopted by my aunt and uncle 20 some odd years ago. The oldest boy was maybe 6 at the time, and the 2 younger sisters were maybe 3 and 4. They had just moved in, and my aunt and uncle wanted to introduce them to some kids in the neighborhood from the Cook family down the street. So they set up a dinner date on the calendar. The oldest is just learning how to read and is the newest to the house. So he gets his sisters to pack their toys, and they get caught trying to sneak out of the house. My aunt, who at this point is still a strange old lady these kids just moved in with, asks them why they're leaving. And the oldest asks her, "Why does the calendar say cook kids for dinner?" I can't imagine the fierce 6-year-old me would have felt if my new mum had that written on her calendar. But the story is just so damn cute for some reason.
When I worked at the Salvation Army, we had a regular called Teresa, a bearded man who wore pink tutus and would come in every day to see if we have Barbie dolls. One day, he came in very anxiously and asked for a razor. I told him we didn't have one, and he started twitching and saying, "I need a razor. Stop hiding them. Just give me a razor." But with more cursing, when I tried to direct him to another store, he exploded and yelled, "I have a disease growing on my face. I am a woman. This beard is a disease on my face. You don't understand. You don't have a disease on your face. I need a razor." At this point, an elderly Italian woman ran over and yelled at him in that Italian gibberish that only they can do, and he freaked out and bailed out. He came back the next day, back on his meds, and still had a beard.
My first year of college, kinda lonely as fuck, because now I'm 18 and still never had a boyfriend. I was a photography major taking random photos with my chunky DSLR when I noticed a group of hot guys tossing around a football across from me. One hot one came over and introduced himself to me, and I quickly knew where this was going. Then he said, "My friend over there thinks you're cute. The one in the white shirt." I saw a guy in a white shirt, and he was almost a midget. He had to be like 4'11", with short arms and legs. According to the internet, a midget is legally an inch shorter. Anyway, I didn't want to laugh and turn him down, so we became friends. I even snapped a photo of him. One day I had no classes for 3 hours, and it was pouring outside, so everyone was inside with nowhere to sit. He said his house was a few minutes away, and that his aunt was home so we can go there. I hesitated a lot, but hey, why not? His house was half an hour away, and in the middle of Farmville. Bumblefuck. Completely secluded in the woods. With it being dark and rainy, I felt this was a sign. We got there, and he lied. Nobody was home. Red flag number 1. I put my backpack down, and I noticed pictures of him wrangling baby cows and shit. I asked him WF that was, and apparently he's a cowboy in competitions. He was a midget cowboy. Literally the most fucking random thing ever. Then while watching TV on the sofa, he popped a chicken nugget boner, then tried to pull a move on me, to force sex upon me. He was trying to wrangle me. After some struggle, I jumped off the couch and pulled out my handy dandy box cutter. For situations like this, you know, a midget cowboy trying to rape you. I told him to drive me back to school or else I'll stab him. He dropped me off, yelled "cunt," and drove off. Apparently his friend said that he uses his shortness to pick up chicks, and usually they pity fuck him. I still have that photo on my camera. When my friends don't believe the fact that he was a midget, I show them. I still keep that box cutter with me wherever I go.
I was baked and singing karaoke when a fight broke out. I had sung karaoke before, but only a handful of times. I also chose songs that were more talking with style than actual singing. All through my first song, we didn't start the fire. The little thing that bobs along to the words was like half a beat off, so I was second-guessing myself the whole time. In spite of that, I decided I would do actual singing. I submitted Round Here by the Counting Crows. First off, not a good karaoke choice. Not very upbeat or well-known enough to make up for that. Second, I was baked. Had never been in that state while singing to a room full of people. Third, the bar was a shithole. I have a theory that bars only allow karaoke when their balls are an inch from the bandsaw. It's a last-ditch effort to remain solvent. So I'm up there, emoting she wants to meet a boy who looks like Elvis when I hear this smash. Some lady broke a beer mug over some guy's head. They're rolling around on the floor like 10 feet away from me. I have no idea what to do. So I keep singing. More people jump on the dog pile, trying to separate the two. There's like 10 people in there, and through it all I'm just tenderly serenading the bar with this song. This goes on for a while. Screaming, feeble and desperate attempts to swing at each other with people trying to hold them back and me trying my best to keep it together. The DJ cuts me off right at the good part very late. Turns out he was also the bouncer and was one of the first to dive right in. He asks if I want to start over. I say no. How are you supposed to top that?
When my best friend came out to me, before I could say anything, I projectile vomited. Not once, but twice. Right after she said the words "I'm gay." Luckily it didn't land on her, but it was pretty messy. She assumed this was me showing my disapproval. Ran out of my house crying and went home. So here I am, with an upset best friend who thinks I don't love her anymore because she's gay. Covered in my own vomit, which is also covering my kitchen floor, and enough nausea to take down a horse. Not to mention horrific guilt for upsetting my friend. I cleaned myself and kitchen floor up and attempted to call her. No answer. I took some nausea medication and took a nap to see if the nausea would subside. I wake up 12 hours later, and you guessed it, covered in my own vomit. Again. I went to the doctor and apparently had a really severe stomach virus. She prescribed me some meds and I was fine. I called my best friend again, and she finally answered. I explained to her that I was totally fine with her being gay and was 100% supportive of her. I explained the stomach virus situation and told her I had directions on how to take care of myself to prove it. 2 years later, we're still best friends, and now we love to laugh about my projectile vomiting.